If you've ever faced tough times, you know how isolating and overwhelming it can feel. The weight of the world seems to rest on your shoulders, and you might find yourself questioning everything, including your faith. And if you've ever questioned why a loving God allows suffering, you're not alone. This is a question that has puzzled believers and non-believers alike for centuries. It's a deeply personal and often painful inquiry. In Christianity, the idea of suffering is closely tied to the concept of sin. The Bible teaches that sin entered the world through human actions, and with it came suffering and death. This doctrine explains that everyone is affected by sin. It's not just about individual actions, but a condition that impacts all of humanity. We live in a world that is fundamentally broken. This doesn't mean everyone is as bad as they could be, but that sin influences us all. It's a pervasive force that affects our decisions, our relationships, and our world. But there's more to the story. The Bible also teaches that God's pleasure isn't always shown through positive circumstances. Sometimes the most profound lessons and the deepest growth come through trials and tribulations. God's pleasure isn't always shown through positive circumstances. It's easy to see God's hand in the good times, but what about the bad times? Matthew 5:43-48 tells us that God's blessings, like the sun, shine on both the righteous and the unrighteous. This means that good and bad things happen to everyone, regardless of their moral standing. So don't assume suffering means God's displeasure. It's not a simple equation of good behavior equals blessings and bad behavior equals suffering. Remember, suffering can serve a greater purpose. It can be a tool for growth, a way to develop resilience, and a means to draw closer to God. John 9:1-3 shows us Jesus healing a man born blind, not because of sin, but to display God's works. This story reminds us that our struggles can be opportunities to witness God's power and grace. Everything, even our struggles, can bring glory to God. It's a challenging perspective, but one that offers hope and meaning in the midst of pain. Our joy comes from God's presence, not perfect circumstances. True joy is found in a relationship with God, not in the absence of difficulties. Heaven and hell also give us perspective. They remind us that our current sufferings are temporary, and that eternal joy or separation awaits us, based on our relationship with God. Heaven is eternal joy with God, a place where there is no more pain or suffering. It's the ultimate hope for believers. Hell, on the other hand, is eternal separation from God. It's a sobering reality that underscores the importance of our choices and our faith. Our earthly trials can test our faith and show where we place our trust. They reveal our true character and our dependence on God. Trials are opportunities for growth. They can refine us, strengthen our faith, and deepen our relationship with God. Psalm 16:11 reminds us that in God's presence, there's fullness of joy, even in tough times. This joy is not dependent on our circumstances, but on our connection with God. So, next time you face hardship, remember, it's not a sign of God's absence, but a chance to grow closer to Him. It's an invitation to trust Him more deeply and to find joy in His presence. Trials are opportunities for growth. They can refine us, strengthen our faith, and deepen our relationship with God. Psalm 16:11 reminds us that in God's presence, there's fullness of joy, even in tough times. This joy is not dependent on our circumstances, but on our connection with God. So next time you face hardship, remember, it's not a sign of God's absence, but a chance to grow closer to Him. It's an invitation to trust Him more deeply and to find joy in His presence. For more insights and uplifting content, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell.